Hi guys, so welcome back to the old channel. This is my girlfriend Courtney. Today we're doing a video on train thoughts. Now you might be thinking, what on earth is a train thought? Well, let me tell you right now. It's just an in-depth question where it creates a lot of debate as to what the answer is. Kind of the what came first, the chicken or the egg. So, because we're on a train, and when you're on a train, you usually shake around, which might help the way your brain is thinking. So what we're going to do is torpedo 2 beers each, in the sense that it helps our brains to feel like it's swaying from side to side, so we can be on a train. You are slowly getting there. Last goal. We have to do another one. Boy, this is gonna be a fast train. Look! Oh gosh. Go on, go on, go on. Oh my god. Come on. Drink my ice water. It's tough work. It's giving me the shivers. I can't breathe. No, you drink beer normally, I don't. I do drink beer normally because I'm a lesbian. Okay, so now we've got that sorted, it's time for us to kick off the old questions. And I think, because I finished my beers first, you should go first with your questions. Okay.
How do they handcuff someone if they're missing a hand?
Would they put it on their wrist but do it tighter so they still couldn't get it off, because then they'd still be stuck?
No, but they just slide it off.
Not if it was too tight, you couldn't get it off. Handcuffs, the more you struggle, the tighter they get. So maybe they would have to do it like as tight as it could go without hurting them, so they'd be stuck. Or maybe they handcuff one of their wrists to their ankle.
No. Maybe they'd have to handcuff their one with a hand to something.
If you handcuffed yourself to an officer, it could turn into like Shaun of the Dead stuff. How do they know that only 4% of the ocean has been discovered? If it hasn't been discovered, how have they measured that 4%? Is it a stab in the dark? We could be at 27%.
You know, like they have satellites and stuff. We haven't discovered the universe, but we know it's there. You know, maybe they have that technology to discover it's there, but we can't get to it.
Satellites can't estimate how big the universe is, it's infinite.
But then is it 5% discovered and the 95% not discovered, or is it just we can't get to it? We can't reach it, we can't touch it.
What? 100% gives a finality. That's a scale. If it was space, is infinite, so you couldn't possibly measure the percentage that we've discovered because you have no end to measure it with. But by giving the thing of 4%, 5%, you have to have an ending of how big it is.
Yeah, but
because otherwise that 4%, 5% doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have any grounds to stand.
Yeah, but they surely, because they know that there's the core of the earth. They can't get to it because they're dark.
How do they know that? You can't like X-ray the world. And from space, can they scan it? You know, like a Lilo and Stitch when they have the pod thing and it gives you the scan of the eggs and tells you what experiments they are. Can you do that with the world?
How do they know that there's another universe?
Because they've gone in a rocket and they've seen that it's so far away.
No. They didn't just fly up in a rocket and was like, oh, there's another universe over there. They've only been to the moon and they've sent something,
there's robots on the other planets, and they found like midgies, like little... Where have they got that 4% from? I must know. Because there has to be a scale to have a number.
Maybe they know the scale though.
How would they know the scale if they don't know how much more there is left to discover? Or have they measured the weight of the world?
How do they do that?
Put the rocket under the tip of the planet.
What's with the rocket? Are your eyebrows considered facial hair?
Yeah. Because they're on your face and it's hair.
I know, but no one ever says facial hair. Everyone normally just says, oh, this is your facial hair. They never say your eyebrows.
But surely it counts. Okay, facial hair. Does that mean like stuff that is on your face?
Yeah, but your eyebrows are on your face.
Is facial hair stuff that can be there or not be there? You take it or you leave it. But if you shaved your eyebrows off, you get sweat in your eyes. I'd say it is facial hair. 100%.
Okay.
Why are there different time zones? Why does America get to have more hours in the day than us?
What?
Why do you time travel when you're in the aeroplane? When you go from America to the UK, it's suddenly a different time. So why does America get to have more time than us?
They don't have more time than us. They have the exact same hours.
Well, why do we time travel?
It's just because they're on a different part of the earth. But if we all had the same time, like it would be like 5 o'clock in the morning here and 5 o'clock in the morning there, but it'd be dark here and light there.
But there is a country that isn't dark all the time.
Where's that?
We learnt about it in year 6 when they wheeled the TV in. We actually think as adults when the teachers wheeled the TVs in and showed you stuff that really had no relevance to anything.
Cold.
And like flowers opening in slow motion. You're hungover as a teacher and you can't cope. So you gotta wheel in the TV.
I still
You're basically wheeling in yourself a stretcher from the hospital because you're so hungover.
Yeah, there's time zones because of where the sun is in different parts of the earth. This is a two-parter.
Ooh.
So part of this I've discussed with you before because it's something it really grinds on me.
Okay.
The first question is, will dinosaurs ever walk on this earth again? And my second part of this is, how do they know?
I know what you're gonna say.
How do they know that certain dinosaurs acted in a certain way?
So, will dinosaurs ever walk the earth again? I know we spoke about extinction. Well, we didn't on this vlog, but extinction is obviously a thing. But then that comes to the whole ocean thing, like sharks, like crocodiles, stuff like that. You could say that they're like prehistoric in a way. I don't know, could you? But if we haven't discovered, okay, like 95% of the ocean, there could be the megalodon, which is that giant fucking ass shark. It's terrifying. Or there could still be like the diplodocuses that were underwater, you know, the ones that were big with the long necks but were underwater. They could still be in the depths
in
beyond.
the 95% of ocean that we don't know of.
The ocean that we don't know about. But also, there could be dinosaurs that were in the ocean that obviously never made an impact in dinosaur times because they were in the ocean so deep that it was obviously never picked up on, and they could still be there because they were so deep they didn't get caught by the ice. But do you mean the walking ones?
I meant like T-Rex.
T-Rex.
And, you know,
well, maybe one of the T-Rex eggs fell into the water at the depths, fermented, will one day rise. No, it's fermented. It will one day rise, and we'll have a fucking Godzilla on our hands because it's
fermented egg
T-Rex. I know, but I got tabbed for a fermented T-Rex.
My second part is the bit that really bugs me. How do they know how these dinosaurs acted?
Maybe they go from footprint distance.
No.
Yeah, no, because if you've got a dinosaur that has massive steps between it, he's plodding along, he's taking his time. If you've got ones that have like footsteps, they're having a better time because they're so more hyper.
That's not what I meant. T-Rex is known for this vicious, angry, meat-eating monster. How the do they know that?
Fossils. There's a lot to be said about fossils.
No. They do not know how.
Well, clearly they fucking do.
No, they don't. They've just made this character up. They have literally was like, this dinosaur has really sharp teeth and it's scary looking. It's going to be a scary dinosaur.
At this
dinosaur could be a vegetarian for all we know. Took on other dinosaurs' babies.
You still might have dinosaurs that are meat eaters, but some of them might have been against meat eating, so were vegetarian.
I'm on about how do they know the behaviours of dinosaurs?
The FBI are going to be on to us because we're risking the Natural History Museum being shut down. It's hard because we're not paleontologists.
And no, it doesn't matter because no one was alive at that time.
Cavemen were.
And they're not alive now.
Yeah, but they might have written.
They didn't have videos.
There's a lot to be said about the cavemen drawings.
Yeah, not the way that dinosaurs acted though.
It must be to do with fossils.
You can't! You can physically not.
Can you make a fossil? Isn't a fossil when you're burned into a stone? I literally no fucking clue. I was so awful at geography, and I don't know if fossils come under geography or not.
No!
Like, they knew that some dinosaurs had feathers, right? You know,
that's different. That's different because it's part of the body.
No, but how do you tell a dinosaur has feathers from a skeleton or a fossil? Because when we die and we skelete, when we turn into skeletons,
yeah,
eventually we won't have any hair. So the people who dig up my body, they're not gonna think, oh, she clearly had a fringe and red hair.
Normally feathered animals have wings.
Raccoons and weasels don't have wings.
That's not feathers, that's fur.
They have to have got the facts from Godzilla from somewhere.
What? Godzilla's not real.
Next question. Why do feathers and bricks fall at the same speed?
What? No. I know what you're on about. It's like when someone asks you, what's heavier, a ton of feathers or a ton of elephants?
Elephants?
No. They're a ton each, so they weigh the same.
I would rather hold a ton of feathers than a fucking ton of elephants.
But it'd be the same weight.
Okay, next question.
Can animals communicate like humans in their foreign language?
Yeah, of course they can.
Say like you've got your cats at home and your dog. Do they not talk to each other because they're different types of animal?
Different foreign languages. Yeah. I see.
Or I'm saying like if you had two different dogs, they still can't speak to each other because they're different.
Yeah, but you don't know that because they still live in the same country.
Yeah, but you never hear dogs talking to each other.
Yes, you do.
Not really. Not like humans interact.
Well, they sniff each other's butts, which is communication.
That's what
you have to have some form of communication before that action because that's a very intimate thing to do without even saying hey. Swans mate for life, so they must be able to communicate.
They might just be like, I like the look of her.
They communicate for sure.
I'm not about like
Max, my dog, can pretty much speak English. He can't speak it, but he understands English. When he sees me, like if I've stayed at Courtney's house for like quite a few nights and then I come home for the first time, he like snorts, he puts his head to the floor and he like gallops at me and shakes at the same time because he's so excited, and that's because he knows that I understand him and he understands me. How did the first acorn appear? How did the acorn happen? Did two entities underground fornicate to create the acorn which grew into a tree, or was it through bee pollination?
It's like anything.
Yes, any tree then, okay.
Anything.
Did it happen where two bees were carrying different things, like different pollens, and the bees crashed, which merged the pollens of these two different things, which went into the ground, which produced an acorn which grew into a tree, which meant loads more acorns happened? And did that acorn fall off and merge with a conker underground to make another different tree, like the willow tree?
Oh God, I don't know.
The apple has a lot about him. The apple is an amazing tree because he chose to fall off to show gravity.
What?
So the apple is a superior tree, and maybe the apple caused the acorn, but we don't know what came first, the apple tree or the acorn tree. Acorns are more superior than electricity.
No.
Because we know where electricity came from, but the acorn, yet to be discovered.
Do you think we will ever evolve again?
Aren't we evolving all the time? We're adapting.
And my second question is, if we evolved from the ape, why are there still apes?
It's a mutation within said monkey which makes it adapt and grow certain other things, and then that breeds, and then there's more mutations until one day we're a human. Because we actually, like, if you watch, I think there's an episode of it on The Simpsons, you start as like you know, when like in the sea there's even like, they look like sea monkeys, they're just basically nothing, no offense to sea monkeys, and there's a thing of us being sea monkeys up to actually being humans.
We're not sea monkeys though. Okay, but that's not.
I think it's to do with mutations. Some monkeys have mutations, some didn't.
Yeah, but then that would
those
mean
mutations fornicated and then created bigger mutations.
Have you seen the scale of us evolving
from sea monkey to human?
Not sea monkeys, we weren't sea monkeys. Seen the ape and it kind of growing and growing
and he's
growing.
got
the mutation
till he stands up.
Yeah, so the
less hair, less facial hair, less eyebrows.
Yeah. So if that was the case, and your logic on this is that it's you just mutate, then we'd still have that whole in between. But we don't. We don't have that whole in between. It's literally just ape and human.
Your questions are so intelligent. All I am good at is history. The Tudors, World War II, anything, I'll answer your questions. I'll give you so many facts. Anything else, I'm useless. That's got me stumped. Every cloud has a silver lining, but grey clouds are silver/grey, usually seen as a dull colour. Where has the positive connotation come from? Every cloud has a silver lining. Clouds are silver.
They're grey.
Every cloud has a silver lining. Fine, yeah, silver's positive.
I've
whatever.
never heard there's a silver lining cloud.
Yes, you have. That is a saying. Every cloud has a silver lining.
I'm gonna have to search this one.
Yes! Comes up straight away. Click on that one. What does it say?
Every difficult or sad situation has a comforting or more hopeful aspect, even through this may not be immediately apparent. What's that got to do with a cloud?
Because clouds are grey, and they're saying grey clouds have silver. But okay.
No, look.
If you look at that's not silver. That's the show them the picture.
The silver lining. The silver lining.
That's not silver.
For a cloud.
Have you ever looked at a cloud and saw silver? Have you ever thought, oh my god, look how shiny that cloud is? Look at that cloud, look how shiny it is. Look at that silver, it's like tinsel running through the sky. Have you ever seen a silver fucking cloud? Your turn.
So, ghosts can go through walls and stuff, yeah?
Yeah, but I think that's film created. That depends how you believe in spirits. Okay, but carry on.
But why don't they fall through the ceiling when they're upstairs?
Because they choose what they go through. It's not like gravity driven, otherwise they would just be flying round and round in the air. They choose where they want to go, but because they're fucking ghosts, they don't have to use the door if they don't want to.
Anyway, you don't have any more, so I'll carry on. In SpongeBob, you meet SpongeBob's parents.
Really?
SpongeBob's parents are circle sponge.
Is SpongeBob a sponge that fell into the ocean and sank, like a normal washing sponge?
No. Obviously you have sponge in the sea, don't you?
What? Okay. You get sponges that grow in the sea?
That's where sponge comes from.
How do you have that knowledge? Okay. Because at no point in school, in whatever it would come under, biology, is it biology it would come under, or geography? I learn?
Why do you keep saying geography? That is sponge.
No, that's a sponge you buy at Tesco.
No, that is from the sea. I'm sorry, but you're the only person that doesn't know that. Obviously there is man-made sponge, like your dish sponges.
Like a car sponge?
Yeah, like
the yellow ones that are like this?
Well, some of them, yeah.
Well, how do they make a sponge that's fake? How do you make knockoff sponge?
Let's go back to SpongeBob.
He's a square.
Do you know the characters in it?
Yeah.
They're all from the sea.
How can you get a squirrel in an astronaut suit?
Okay, no. I was about to say, apart from Sandy, her name, because she has the astronaut to show that she's from above the ocean, because she needs air to breathe.
How does she walk then? Along the
She's
floor?
got a spacesuit on.
That doesn't mean she can stand on the floor.
Okay, well, let's just...
And how does she get the oxygen? Because her oxygen mask, she must have to go back to Earth.
No, because
to get more oxygen.
Her house thing with air in it.
No, I'm sorry. When she goes into a house, does she take off her helmet?
Yeah, the others have to put a helmet on with water in.
In her house, when she's taken her helmet off, if said house is full of oxygen, after a long time, that house would just be full of carbon dioxide.
Or maybe she has a pipe that sends oxygen down.
Or all the way up to the surface of the water.
Yeah. Either way,
what about when there's a storm? Does the water not go down the pipe?
We're not talking about Sandy. You got Mr. Krabs, Plankton.
No, I know them.
Patrick.
Is Plankton the evil one? With the monobrow?
Yeah. Does he have eyebrows?
He's got a monobrow.
Anyway, my train of thought is, when you meet SpongeBob's parents, they are circle sponges like you see in the sea. So how the hell did he end up square?
Maybe when she gave birth there was complications. Or when he was in the incubator, because of the complication, he swelled to fit the whole of the incubator, which caused him to be a square because he was against all the edges. Can sponges have sex? Because there's no bees to pollinate like the acorn.
That's like saying anything, like corals.
No!
Corals are alive, you know that.
Well, it's a sponge?
Yeah.
I know, I'm shook by this.
That was meant to be the easy question.
How is that easy?
I don't know, you were just meant to be like, it's a cartoon, so it's not real, but...
I take cartoons very seriously. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video and it has sparked some thought process, imagination within yourselves. You might have like theories to what we've said, or you might be completely traumatized because you're like, I don't know the answer. But yeah, as I say in all my videos, you are worth all the happiness in the world, in the universe at this stage, and in the 95% of the ocean. You're worth every single happiness that ever existed in the world. Again, like my recent video, I have to practice and preach that. I'm worth happiness. Courtney is definitely, infinitively deserves all the happiness in the world. I will see you in my next video, and I'm sure you will see Courtney very soon. Welcome aboard. Bye.